Welcome to Whisper Walls, a series presented by Word Limit. In a world crawling towards an apocalypse, all that may remain are the stories that can help rebuild. In a land far, far away, it is shattered by war and deception. A forced love brewed by magic sparks a chain of betrayals that topples empires. But love faked can become a curse, and even fairy tales rot from the inside. This is an interlude, and we call this story
The King and Queen of Ruin. The kingdoms of Hadesmok had long been at war, their lands soaked in blood, their pastures trampled beneath the boots of men who would not see another summer. 3 crowns, 3 rulers, each vying for dominion over the land's verdant expanse. The Poting Kingdom, masters of the arcane, wove their witchcraft into every battle, twisting nature and men alike with potions brewed in blackened cauldrons. The Betrayal's kingdom, scholars and tacticians, turned war into a game of numbers, their strategies precise, their victories calculated. And then there were the Whartons, towering brutes clad in iron and rage, their vast legions wielding swords so broad they might cleave a man in twain with a single stroke. For years, the war ebbed and flowed, uneasy truces broken by whispered betrayals, alliances forged in desperation and shattered in blood. But as the seasons passed and bodies mounted upon bodies, the rulers of Poting sought a means to end the conflict once and for all. Their council of wizards, draped in robes steeped in secrets, devised a plan both insidious and elegant. Prince Vanatorp of Wharton, strong of arm, thick of skull, heir to a kingdom built on brute force. Princess Mattensplit of Poting, cunning, cold, the only child of the sorcerer king, but beauty like sunlight. The union of their houses could bring stability, but there was one problem. The prince had no love for her, nor she for him. Love, however, is but a chemical reaction, a thing to be crafted like steel or sorcery. A single drop of the elixir of devotion, unseen, unfelt, slipped into the prince's goblet by a Poting spy. His heart, once a thing of war and conquest, now beat for her alone. Within days, he was mad with love, speaking of eternity, of fate, of devotion beyond reason. And another drop of the elixir dripped onto Princess Mattensplit's perfume by a handmaiden. She now too was in love, thirsting for the brutish Prince of Wharton. The marriage was sealed, the 2 thrones united, and with this bond, the Betrayals would be wiped from the pages of history, or so the Potings thought, for the Betrayals had always known. Spies whispered in the dark, numbers were crunched, probabilities assessed. King Bilimon Betrayals, a man who saw battle as an equation, knew well that there was no winning a fight when the enemy had grown 2 heads instead of 1. So, rather than march to war, he vanished into the hills, his people scattering like seeds upon the wind. "We will return," was all he said. And so the Poting-Wharton alliance celebrated its false victory. Years passed, but a potion binds only one heart, and a heart bound against its will becomes a prison. Princess Mattensplit never loved the man who adored her. In her mind, the potion was a chain, and so she sought her own escape. She whispered lies into King Vanatorp's ear of treason among his court, of sorcerers who sought to control him as they had controlled his love. His paranoia, once a mere ember, was fanned into an inferno. The Wharton armies turned upon the Poting witches, tearing through their sanctums with steel and flame. But the wizards did not fall quietly. They unleashed horrors unseen in Hadesmok before or since. Tempests that swallowed entire battalions, spells that turned flesh to ash, curses that twisted men into beasts. The war that was meant to end war instead consumed both kingdoms in its unholy fire. And in the chaos, Prince Vanatorp, once a man, once a king, once a fool, was twisted by sorcery into a mere ladybug, his great love reduced to an insect skittering upon a blade of grass. Princess Matten-split, she fled. With a knight, some say, with a blade in her husband's back. Others whisper, it mattered not. The land was empty now, and so the Betrayals returned. King Bilamon rode upon his black steed, his banners fluttering over a kingdom of ruins. Smoke curled from the shattered towers. The bones of his enemies lay whitening in the sun. Hadasmark at last belonged to him. And as he surveyed what was left, a lone merchant, a wretched survivor of the catastrophe, stepped forward. "Your Grace," he asked, voice trembling, "did you always know that the marriage would end them?" King Bilamon slid from his saddle, plucking a single blade of grass, upon which a tiny red insect crawled. He studied it for a long moment, then withdrew a glass jar from his satchel. He dropped the ladybug inside, the lid clicking shut. Turning the jar in his hands, he gazed at the merchant through the curved glass, and spoke with the certainty of a man who had seen the truth written in numbers long before the first drop of blood was spilled. Mere commoner, it was not the marriage that ruined them. His lips curled into a knowing smirk. Something far grander was at work here. The merchant swallowed. "Your Majesty, what was it?" King Bilamon lifted the jar, watching the tiny insect crawl within its glass prison. "No amount of potion can convince a 10 to fall in love with a 5. This is no damn fairy tale." "Okay, Charles, time to go to sleep. Papa is tired now. Good night."
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to our channel for more stories and series. Again, please follow us on X at WordLimit and Instagram at WordLimitPod, or visit us at wordlimit.com, where we strive to connect and never lose your attention.